Up next, we have another flyweight bout, and this time it's Ryan Benoit against Ashkan Mokhtarian. And this is a pretty straightforward fight as well, in my opinion. Ashkan is a very rudimentary striker. He almost seems to almost completely lack striking. He does have some solid kicks on the outside. He'll throw some nice leg kicks, but he does go to the well too much on the leg kicks. Sometimes he'll throw about 7, 8, 9 leg kicks in a row without setting them up, and against his other opponents when he was fighting in Australia, that was able to work. But in the UFC, when he was trying to do that, Moraga was just countering him, taking him down. He really got dominated completely in every aspect in that fight against Moraga. He showed a lot of heart in that fight, a lot of grit. He was able to, survive a lot of submission attempts that were very deep, and he didn't panic. He was very calm. Him and his brother apparently, used to be into a lot of bad stuff. They used the sport to, rededicate their life, and they, made good out of it. Ashkan's in the UFC. His brother fought on the Dana White Contender Series, so they're both, moving forward, moving on in life, and I commend him for that. But, I'm just not sure if they're UFC caliber, if he's UFC caliber, excuse me. But, he likes to get the double underhooks against the cage. He'll work some knees against the cage. He also likes to get the double underhooks, just at space in the center, and he likes to try to take you down with double underhooks, body locks, things like that. And when he gets you down, he's not extremely dangerous on the ground. He actually prefers, just to control the position. He doesn't throw heavy ground and pound. He doesn't look for submissions very often, but he does control the position pretty well. Sometimes he does shoot from very far out without setting it up, and it's, just not the best takedowns. But he's fighting a guy in Ryan Benoit who's, a UFC veteran. He's had quite a few fights in the UFC now. He has some pretty high-level wins. He beat Sergio Pettis, knocked him out. So that's a pretty highlight reel win to have on your record. He has some pretty close losses. He had a split decision loss to Brandon Moreno, even though I thought that fight was, pretty clear cut. But, he's a guy who's an explosive striker, throws a lot of kicks from the outside, and throws some heavy hooks. Has a lot of power for a 125er. He has knockout power in both hands. And, he's dropped a lot of people in his fights. Like I said, he knocked out Sergio Pettis. He dropped Brandon Moreno. And he has some big leg kicks. He doesn't really set up his kicks as well as I think he should, or his punches. He doesn't really have a lot of feints, and sometimes he comes in overextending himself. So he definitely has to work on, his setups and his feints and, just being a little bit more composed on his feet, in my opinion. And but he also does possess a solid wrestling game and solid scrambles as well. He's explosive with his double legs. He actually has some pretty good slams. And he has some pretty good scrambles if you try to take him down. And I just think that he's the much better, the much better striker than Ashkan Mokhtarian. I think that he's going to be able to stuff all of Ashkan's takedowns from a distance. I don't think Ashkan's going to be, I don't think he's just going to be at that level. I really admire his story. I think that he's great for Australian MMA, Australian top team. Really likes him apparently. And, he could be an ambassador over there. I'm sure he's popular, but I'm just not sure if he's UFC level, and I just think Ryan Benoit's going to be able to exploit him on the feet. And I think Ryan Benoit's the better grappler as well, so if he wants to take him down, I think he'll be able to do that too. Ashkan's very tough, very gritty.